Hey guys, it's Driven by Craig here, and here I am with the first gameplay video, and it is in, of course, F1 25. Now, it's gonna be kind of like a series, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to post time trial lap guides, and the first one is going to be in Australia. So I'll go on Australia and I'll give a guide. Now I am using Moza Direct Drive Wheel. So, but these setups, as in these time trial guides, will work even for people who are using controller. For as for setups for controller, I recommend just searching up on Google, YouTube, anything. But if you are on a wheel, it's very easy to get a good setup. And I'm in the top 10%, so I know a little bit about this track. Now, for a setup, I always like to pick the ones who are at the top. They always have good setups and they always end up working. So, but for this, I'm just gonna use the setup I have for my best lap time. There we go. I applied my setup, and now I will go and give a guide. Alright, so here I am. Now I recommend, before you're about to start your flying app, you start pushing from around here. Now my settings, these are my settings. Now obviously I have brake assist off, but I do have ABS, anti-lock brakes, on. Traction control is also full. Now sometimes I like to keep it on medium, but this depends which track I'm driving on. But for Australia, I'll keep it full. And for the gearbox, I like to do manual and suggested gear. Makes the game more fun, and since you have the suggested gear, it doesn't take as much to learn. Oh yeah, I also have the racing line. If I'm correct, I only have it for corners, or do I? Let me just check. Yep, I do indeed, in fact, only have the racing line for corners. Because, I like to keep it, when I'm doing time trials, and I recommend too, if you want to know the braking points, there is no shame in putting on the racing line. So here we're going to start now. So as I like to brake a little bit late, like pretty relatively late here. Obviously, let me go back a little bit. So I like to brake right around, it's somewhere up in front. I like to brake pretty late for this. So I brake right around here, barely just on the grass. Also, I brake a bit later than when the red line is, where the red line is. And I like to take some grass here. Now I take grass here, so I don't end up exceeding track limits and invalidating my lap. Like that, you'll have enough speed, you'll be able to maintain it without invalidating your lap there. Now here we come up here. Now, I like to brake right around here, and you want to take it smooth, right here, just barely touching the curb. You don't want to touch that curb too much, especially on the red area. Now for this, I like to let go of the gas. Not to the point, I don't recommend braking here. I just letting go of the gas. Now this curb is, you have to take it right around like this. You can't take it over, because then you'll ruin your execution through the other corner. So you need to take it right around here, just barely touching this curb, just only 1 or 2 wheels on this curb, the front and the rear on the left side. That's all you want, because if you exceed it, this would happen. You would exceed right here, validate your lap once again, and you'd have a horrible racing line. Your lap would be ruined, and that's pretty much it, because you would have a horrible exit, especially if you touch that curb. Now here, obviously we're gonna take flat out. Try not to tap that wall. I do it pretty often, but yeah. Now, next corner here. I brake insanely late for this. Sometimes I'm not even sure if I'm braking. So, I let go of the gas, and I do a hard brake. Now for this is like the first corner. You want to take that grass. Now, it's the same exact reason. You take the grass, and you come here. If you, let's say, you you take it insanely fast, but you don't cut the grass, then you won't be able to make this turn, causing your lap to be invalidated. So, you want to keep it within the lines, and touching the grass will not, because people think that it will harm your lap time. In this case, it won't. Just brake late, relatively late there, a bit later than the red line, and you'll be good. And as I said, you can take a decent amount of grass there, especially if you want a good exit and you don't want to invalidate your lap. Now we come up here. This is pretty straightforward. Now for this corner, a lot of people get stuck on this. Now, so you want to brake right around there, that 50 mark board. You want to brake around there, and when you're approaching this corner, you want to take it like this. You can take a decent amount of curb, but you can't take a decent amount of curb on this corner. If you take curb like this, there's also a chance you invalidate the lap. But this is how you should take it. You come right here and you just touch the curb a little bit. And especially if this curb here can be deadly. Let's say you're fully like this, going over 200 kph. Okay? And you will slide fully into the wall. So don't not touch that as much as you can. So as I said, you can take a lot of curb on the first corner, but on the second, and on the second over here, you need to be careful. Only touch the bit, because if you touch it too much, then you'll ruin your exit and you'll touch the outside curb too much. Now coming up here, you want to brake around that board. I think it's the 150 meter mark board or something like that, 100 meter board, somewhere back there. Brake around the red line. To be honest, for this corner, I like to brake earlier than the red line. I think it helps and I think it's good. And I do this to avoid the curb. Now this how I enter the curb. Please do not touch the red part of the curb, because that will make your car like fly. And you know, I like to avoid this curb, so that's why I brake earlier than the red line. So you come right around here. Now this is quite a confusing corner. If you have a good setup, you can take this flat out. But if you can't take it flat out, then please try not to touch that inside curb over there. But because you will lose control. But yeah, that is basically it for that corner. And if you don't have a setup, or your setup's not good enough to take that flat out, then just slightly lift off the gas, or even maybe brake a little. Sometimes I do lift off the gas there, but you know. And for that corner, it's basically the same as the first hairpin we met. It's the exact same. Brake nice and easy, don't overdrive, barely go over the curb. Now over here, you want to go like this, full gas by the way, and then finish off your lap and get a lap time. And just like that, that is my guide to this track.